Find yourself in the Beachview area of Pittsburgh? Check out the official pizza of this show, Slice on Broadway, sharing an abnormal obsession with pizza we can relate to. Check them out at sliceonbroadway.com and tell them this show sent you.
Asteroids are back this week on Boss Battle. Welcome everybody to Boss Battle number 129, a show in which the writers of InsertPointToBegin.com get together to talk about video games. I'm your host, Bobby F. J-Town, but before we get to the infotainment and general frivolity of this podcast, let's see what everybody achieved this week. Chachi, how about you? What did you achieve this week?
I played some Madden. I was going to play some more Grand Theft Auto, but then I got pissed off at the fact that I'm just going to work in the game, so I didn't play Grand Theft Auto.
You're doing odd jobs for cash.
Yeah. I modded Simpsons Tapped Out. So I have everything.
You modded it?
Yeah, I found a hacked version of it.
Oh, jeez.
That still lets you connect to the Origin servers without getting banned.
Wow.
Yes, he's one of those
players. So I have
players.
as many donuts as I want and as much cash as I want.
That seems sketchy.
Well,
Yeah,
it's basically just taking. There's a hole in their system, so it's just taking advantage of that.
Much like the donuts that are our currency in the game.
Right.
Immortal.
There's a hole in their programming. Someone found it. I installed the install pack, and then uninstalled the install pack and reinstalled the game.
Immortals had a weird hack too that I saw, but on the Android version that you could buy. Immortals, WWE Immortals had some kind of weird hack, but it was more a kind of a performance hack you could do to buy a bunch of the cards.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. Android seems to be a little more prone to those kinds of things. So, yeah.
Well, no, because the majority of the ones I found were iOS.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It took me a really long time to find an Android one that wasn't a scam.
Nice.
So, and that's about it.
Cool. Sorg, what'd you achieve this week?
It's all WWE Supercard and Immortals, buddy. Got another Legend card, some Dolph Ziggler, and just Immortals is good. I'm really appreciating Immortals. That is the promise of the Unreal Engine on my phone, dude. It just looks pretty on my 5S. I love it.
Would you say it's unreal?
I'd say it was unreal. So no, really enjoying that. So, yep. Bobby?
All right, and I achieved this week. I played some Dragon Age finally. I went back to it. I chose the mages, and I also chose Josephine. So that'll give you a clue what I did this week.
Okay.
And I played some of that IDARB real quick. I didn't play with anybody yet. I just basically ran around and tried it again.
Mm-hmm.
I told friends to download it, so hopefully they will. What else did I do? I played some Destiny this week, too. I'm only level 5, I'm like this close to making it to level 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't really played that a lot, so that's what I did this week. So, all right, we got a fan question here from our friend of the show, Tonio Garza. His question is: do you agree that Baltog came first, then Vega, and Street Fighter 2? Balrog. Okay.
Wait, what's the question?
He wants to know if we agree that Balrog came first before Vega in Street Fighter 2.
Like in sequence?
Yeah, I don't know what he means by that.
I think. Oh, okay.
Is this a chicken and egg joke?
I think maybe it is. Was it the Balrog or is the Vega? I think Balrog was further in the line. I thought.
Yeah.
When you got into the boss stuff, I think.
I liked Vega better.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I dug it.
Because I liked Vega. I could not play with him, but I always thought he was a cool character with his mask and his the claw thing. Because no other character really had a weapon in Street Fighter.
Right.
So, but I'm angry at Street Fighter, so I will back out of this question.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah. I think we answered it. I'm pretty sure.
I have no
Yes.
idea. I don't know what the question was, so I don't know if we answered it or not.
Yeah.
All right, moving
Oh,
on.
I have no
Alex
clue.
Carr says he leveled up more in Immortals. He's currently 4 out of 5 done with the Cyborg Lesnar challenge this week. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
I was surprised they gave us that again because it was I just can't get very far because I don't have Cena or Undertaker. So
Mhm.
I've just been leveling everybody up. Like I have a pretty good Sheamus, Sheamus Big Show and Daniel Bryan trio. That I'm just leveling the crap out of. Like anytime I get money, I'm just throwing it at their finishing moves for now, until and giving them a lot of experience, and then I'm going to work on some of the other ones. So I mean,
Breaking. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say breaking news. I acquired the dragon in Crossy Road.
Like right now.
Nice.
No, earlier. I think this morning actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I got the dragon. That's the one I was like striving for.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that I have to strive for a character in a game that just like is basically 8-bit Frogger.
Oh, it
I'm
is.
trying to get all 70.
Oh, really? Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I don't-
I'm
I don't
going.
know.
I'm going for them all.
I don't know if have you gotten the piggyback yet?
No, I don't think you can. I think you have to buy that one.
Because he's like $3.99.
Yeah, I'm up to 37 out of 70.
Wow. I don't know how many I have.
My favorite one is the Drop Bear.
I don't think I've seen him yet.
You unlock them by being the Kiwi or the dingo in Australia and stopping by a tree. If you stop by a tree for too long, he drops out of the tree.
Nice.
My problem is I'm playing it on two platforms because I'm on the iPhone and I'm on the TV, so on the Fire TV stick. So I'm never gonna match up. Yeah, but it's the best way. It's the best way. So that's why I like Supercar, because anything I pick up, I can play Supercar in the same game. Immortals, Immortals crashes when I try to log in on Android so far, and I've tried reinstalling and stuff. So that's the only one I can't do it on.
It worked fine for me. I just didn't like the game.
Yeah, I think there's something up with. I mean, it'll play, but if I want to log into my account, it crashes out. I haven't tried it in a few weeks though. It might have been fixed. Anyways, Bobby.
All right, Chachi, you want to take us around the net?
No, I'm Crossy Road.
Okay.
It is now time for video game themed things from around the internet.
Net.
Let's see. Runners up this week. A guy turns his PlayStation 1 into Final Fantasy VII's Midgar. He turned the entire CD tray into a replica of the city from Final Fantasy VII. So you can go over and check it out. Links in the page. It's pretty amazing and well done.
I clapped for them.
Next, also runner-up, Gabe Newell showed that people at Steam, no matter how high in the food chain they are, will take time to support someone's issue. Someone had come across what they thought was his email address and decided to give it a shot. He said, I heard you answer fan email despite your busy schedule. I thought that was just amazing, but still couldn't believe it, so I'd like to put it to the test. Do you think you'll reply faster than Steam support? I gave him about a week head start. He responded, what's your ticket? At the end of the day, everyone here at Valve is in support.
Nice.
And it went back and forth, and he solved the guy's problem and took care of it. Cool. But the guy kept pointing out that he can't believe how well, or he couldn't believe that that Gabe was supporting for him. And every time Gabe's just like I said, we're all in support. So
did he confirm Half-Life 3?
No.
Or Portal 3?
No. So let's get to the peanut butter for this Reese's Cup of the Post. Hey, Bobby?
Yep.
Peanut butter?
Peanut butter.
Someone beat Super Mario World with 0 points. Using every glitch possible. It took him 2 hours and 19 minutes to beat the game, without gaining any points. If you've ever played Super Mario World, then you know that's damn near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do anything in that game, in a positive notion, you get points. So he went through and he used every glitch to beat the previous high score or low score of 150 points.
It's like golf.
Yeah, and it's all there in the video, so you can see what's happening. It took 2 hours though, so maybe don't watch the whole video unless you really want to. Next up, there's a Doom 2 mod that switches all of the sound effects in the game to ones created with the team's mouth. In the post, I said, I think Police Academy on crack.
I wish it would just go pew pew. Meh.
It does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just distorted a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it is essentially when he's using the handgun, it's essentially pew pew. And if you listen to the chainsaw noises, then it's all just. My favorite one is when you hit a switch, because it's just switch. So that's really fun. And last but not least, Smosh Games did a honest trailer of Pokemon Red and Blue. And you should check it out because it's hilarious. The last 2 minutes of the video is them renaming all of the original 151 Pokemon. And
sounds like fun.
Yeah, and it's funny stuff. At one point, they referenced the Twitch Plays Pokemon, and 6 minutes is probably one of the best 6 minutes that you can spend on the internet today. So that's all I have for you this week in video game themed things from around the internet.
Net.
Back to you, Bobby.
All right, and we're going to throw it right back to you, Chachi, because this week's Spotlight game is a game that you reviewed on insertcointobegin.com on Monday, Skyward. You want to tell us, is this game worth downloading? I was looking at the pictures of it, and it looks really interesting.
It's a free game, so, on Android it's a free game. I don't know how much they charge you on iOS. Probably 99 cents. It seems like they don't like to do free things over there on Apple because,
snobs.
They're not cool. But anyhow, it's a simple arcade game where one dot rotates around the other one, and you tap the screen to get it to stop on a platform higher than where you currently are. So if the red dot's on the bottom square, then you would want to stop the blue dot on square above or a couple above as far as it'll reach. The thing that makes this a little bit harder than it sounds like is that you only have a few seconds because every time the dot rotates around the other dot, it gets smaller, and eventually you'll run out of time.
Uh-oh.
It has what I've called Monument Valley style art.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not graphically overdone.
Yeah, right off the bat, like the title screen looks like it's completely ganking Monument Valley. But it also to confirm, it is free on iOS. I'm downloading it right now.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it's really, really well done. Simplistic in nature all around. The graphics and sound combined nicely. Didn't overpower in either part of the game. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 and said that you should probably download it now. So again, I'm telling you to download it now.
Good deal. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's a really quick game. It doesn't take long to load, and it doesn't take long to play. So, it's the ultimate game that you would play if you were, waiting in line at the grocery store or the bank or something.
If I can put down Crossy Road, I might give it some attention.
Right.
All right. So in conclusion, 5 out of 5 stars.
5 out of 5.
We're getting game tokens.
It looks cool
Yes.
from the video. I just pulled it up. So. Cool.
All right. Today, Bethesda announced that they're going to have their own press event at E3. This is Bethesda's first press conference at E3. They're joining like Ubisoft and a couple other game companies that have like their own special events. We don't know what's going to be announced, but a lot of speculation has Fallout, maybe another Fallout game being announced, which is awesome. They also have the Elder Scrolls Online coming up, so there's probably going to be a lot of plug for that game because it's coming to Xbox One and PS4. And maybe, who knows, they might announce like another Skyrim type game. Arcane Studios also has is the studios that came up with Dishonored, which is a really good game. They didn't confirm a sequel to that game, but that's another speculation that they have. But however, they did say that Prey 2 is dead. So no more Prey games. id Software also is rumored to be working on Doom 4, but they're just calling it Doom now for some unknown reason. And the beta for that game will be coming soon. So a lot of things they could tease and stuff like that. So what do you guys think we're going to see at this press event?
Something awesome. I don't know. I'm less excited for id Software since John Carmack's not a part of it anymore. Like, it's not the same. Like, the heart is gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, these are properties, you know. It's not the scrappy, like, you know, you talked about the modifications for something like the original Doom in Around the Net. It's, you know, like the Duke Nukem, when they brought back Duke Nukem. But it wasn't like the original guys that did it. It wasn't we're trying to figure out how to do this 3D gaming thing like it was in the late 90s, or mid-90s, actually. Wow, that's 1993 for Doom. Wow. So yeah, it's just another property, you know, and it's not something like a Call of Duty that happens every year that I think is fresh in people's mind. It's fine them dropping the number because it's just going to be another remake anyways, right? Mm-hmm. It's been so long since 3, it doesn't really even matter. So, that's fine, you know. But interesting that they're stepping into that. We're going to do a big spectacle thing like Ubisoft and everybody. But that's just getting big enough because they freaking bought everybody that was left.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's my thoughts.
I'm just excited for the prospect of another Elder Scrolls game. Mm-hmm. Maybe not Elder Scrolls Online, maybe just another standalone game. Who knows? But I think they're probably pushing the Elder Scrolls Online on the new gen systems. So
right,
it'll probably just be that. But Fallout 4, everybody wants that. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I was never on the Fallout bandwagon. I never played the old ones. Of course, 3 did really big business for them.
3 was fun.
It was. I mean, that it'd be interesting. I don't know. Maybe that's one. Is it worth getting on this late in the game, there, Bobby? Like not having am I suffering from not playing the first couple there?
No, you can just jump right into 3 because 3 is pretty much a standalone game.
Okay.
It's a fun game. There's a downloadable content DLC pack called The Pit, which is set in Pittsburgh. So that's cool. But yeah, it's a fun game. I enjoyed it. I didn't beat it, Chachi, I know. But I got pretty far on it. So it held my interest for a while.
Check that out when I'm on a good old games kick. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our next story, Chachi, since we all argued about Legend of Zelda last week, Netflix is reportedly developing a live-action television series based on The Legend of Zelda. According to Wall Street Journal, the show is described as a Game of Thrones for the family, which is kind of awkward to describe. I don't know why they would have to say Game of Thrones to the family. I think it's going to be its own thing, standalone. Netflix and Nintendo are reportedly working close together on the live-action show, and they're seeking a writer. But the Wall Street Journal cautioned that the series could be spiked should Nintendo and Netflix not decide to go forward with the show. So it may or may not happen, based on feedback. But Nintendo president Satoru Iwata said last year the company planned to actively expand their character licensing business, and he later said that the game maker was exploring possibilities in licensing character IP in areas Nintendo had never worked before. So this is one thing that they're doing. I mean, I give them credit. after the failure of the Super Mario Brothers movie to even try something like this again.
But it's been so long. Everybody goes back to that. But it has been so long, and we haven't even gotten cartoons for these properties. Yet Sonic, which the console died, guys. Sega is basically surviving on Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon money at this point. And they actually do something with licensing. That's been my problem with Nintendo for a long time. They do licensing, but they're not good at it. You know, again, that Disney argument. Like, how many things that you never saw before you're now seeing because Disney owns Marvel and knows what to do with that property. Same with Star Wars. Star Wars does so much, is on so many things, but is on so much better stuff now that Disney has that. You know, it's like the wrestling thing. You know, man, I can't believe that guy wasn't really taken advantage of when he was with such and such company. Now he's with WWE. It's the marketing machine. They're the guys that know how to get things done, and Nintendo don't.
I kind of want Nintendo to get bought by Disney, but I don't think that's
no, that will never happen. If there's anyone I'm okay with doing a Legend of Zelda series, it's Netflix. I am 100% on board with that, and I reached out to our contact at Nintendo, and got Nintendo doesn't comment on rumors or speculation. So I don't know about you guys, but to me it sounds like that this is pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
I mean, just based on that comment, I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm surprised they didn't say, "Excuse me, princess."
Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is already they've already done the first season, as far as that comment from Nintendo goes.
Yeah. All right. Sorg, you posted this story on our Facebook group about people using their Androids to play Destiny for the PS4 on Android devices.
Yeah, so basically, as far as I understand it, you know, not having, and now actually, wait, I have an Android device. Maybe I can. Well, I don't have a PS4, so you know, the Sony Xperia phones. You know, Sony's really big about. Sorry, I'm taking a little drink myself. Sony's really big about, you know, we have our Sony thing. We're going to stream our Sony services and the PlayStation 4 to any device basically with a Sony brand on it, right? Including the Sony Xperia smartphones and tablets, which are actually Android smartphones and tablets. Well, somebody took the APK, modified it a little bit so it's not just running specifically on those devices, and basically they can get it running on, in this instance, they're showing it on a Samsung device. So yeah, and they're showing them, you know, ideally they're showing Destiny here. It's kind of the biggest name game you can show off, I think, to prove it. But anything PlayStation 4, you can now play remotely on anything. You know, I really hope, and I think it would behoove Sony to do this, to really free up that software. Hello, there we go. To open the streaming out to any Android device. I mean, I know they're trying to keep everything brand and trying to sell their other devices, but I think they need to go with Microsoft on this one and kind of open it up to everybody else too. Like Microsoft seems to be doing with a lot of their apps we talk about on AwesomeCast. And it shows it's possible, obviously. And they do say there are some issues. There are some install your own risk. The unofficial app allows unofficial capabilities. It's available outside of Google Play Store. So if you're comfortable for those kinds of things, I know you are, Fuzzwad. You know, that's the kind of thing you can play around with a little bit. So knowing that's possible is pretty cool. So in a video, kind of mostly it looks like it steps you through how to do that. So, but again, not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I don't have PS4 anyway. So.
No. Riz doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
So maybe
he can try.
And I don't know if he's experimented with, you know, outside the App Store, you know, kind of backdoorish Google kind of stuff. I mean, it's not that hard, you know. It's not like you're command lining on your phone or something like that. But it is like outside of I download this thing from the store, you know, that you may be used to if you're just a regular user of the phone. So, but no, pretty cool.
The only thing I downloaded outside of the Google Play Store was the Amazon Marketplace for.
I know, even
apps.
that is
That's
like really. Oh, this is unsupported, you know. But it's like it's Amazon, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Who cares?
Free app of the day.
All right. Yeah, true. All right. You guys remember this South Park: The Stick of Truth, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing has come out for it as far as downloadable content goes. And according to Polygon, they said while South Park: The Stick of Truth sold well and has well-received critics, the tribulations of moving the game from THQ, which met its demise this year, to Ubisoft likely killed any chance for any future downloadable content for the game. Obsidian told Polygon. As far as we know, Ubisoft and South Park are done. This was a quote from Fergus Urquhart. That's an odd name. But he added the developer is reaching out to Ubisoft to see what other possibilities there are for the game. He goes on to say that Ubisoft got the game for 15 to 20 cents on the dollar. It was technically pretty far along, but there was still a lot of work to be done on the game, and they just wanted to get the game out. So they didn't really worry about getting DLC together. They weren't sure if the game was going to be a huge success, which it was. I think it's kind of sad that there is not going to be any continuation for this game because it was such a great game. It was a really good licensed game too. We haven't had one of those in a long time. But yeah, would you guys support DLC for this game? I know Chachi, you played it.
Yeah, I played it. The hell out of it.
They could have had episodes you could download.
I don't know about episodes. I just think they should have done expansion packs, kind of like the Assassin's Creed games or Destiny does, or like once every few months they come out with a new one. Because honestly, not that hard to do. You're already a game developer, so come up with story. You already have the base that's right there. All you got to do is add to it, and people are happy.
Yeah, I think this is I'm sorry. I think this is one of those things where they moved it over, and it's allocating resources, right? You interrupted the cycle by taking it away from THQ and the developer behind it, right? Like that the change changed, so they don't have a place for it. And there's been some really interesting articles about what the organization is at Ubisoft for the developers and the teams. So I'm really not surprised that they didn't find some place to tuck this into. And, it's one of those well, is it worth it if we put money into it? DLC, no. The big money's been made on this thing, so it's not worth it to spin up a development team to figure out what all the assets are, versus whoever worked on the game before can just move and create new content. It's not just plug and play, They
didn't want to push an inferior product out there anyways,
no, and it's
without giving it time and thought.
Right, it's just spinning up the assets to be able to do something like that is going to be troublesome, So it's just not worth the time and effort for them. And the game's out there, and they're going to make the money off of it regardless because they transferred the license over. Really surprising they didn't stick around with South Park as a license in general.
Yeah, but they said also the guys that write South Park, Matt and Trey, they were extremely stressed out by this game. They put so much effort into this game because, like we know in the past, almost every South Park game that came out was just crap until this one came along.
Right. And those two, so, if you've ever seen the documentary or anything, those guys are unreasonably dedicated to their product. to a positive and a complete personal detriment to them. But that's why it's been what it has been for the last few years, or the last 20 years, wherever the hell they're at, and why this game turned out the way it was. And now they know they can't hand it off. Nobody else knows how to write South Park like the two of them do for it to still be South Park. And that's a problem. And great that they stuck that in there, So.
You know what I bet the South Park guys go through a lot of when they're writing the show and the games? Pizza.
Oh, I bet they do, and so do we here at Sorgatron Media. We got live studio guests, not for this show, but of course for ones like Awesome Cast, Rambling Movie a Minute, every once in a while the Wrestling Mayhem Show, and we like to feed them when they're coming out here to Beachview in the South Hills of Pittsburgh to help and dedicate. And it's always better to get people in a room doing this. But it's also great we can connect out to Bobby here that's 2 hours away from us, and Chachi, who just is kind of a floater and maybe suspiciously a hobo. Who knows? But in the meantime, for the people that do come in here, we got pizza and supported by our friends at Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com if you want to find out more about them, right here on Broadway Avenue in Beachview, as well as Main Street down in Carnegie, PA. Great gourmet pizza. The freshest ingredients they can get their hands on. They source that stuff out whenever they can. So it's going to be better than that pre-made stuff you get from Pizza Hut, or the Papa John's, whatever the heck's going on with there. Somebody's mad at Papa John's, right? Something like that.
Iggy Azalea.
Iggy Azalea is mad at Papa John's.
They gave her,
no pop stars are angry at Slice on Broadway. I guarantee you that. That's the Sorgatron. Yes. That is the personal promise from a man in a tie that owns an incorporated corporation. That's right. So go check them out and support them. Let them know you heard about them on Boss Battle. Bobby?
Hashtag Papa Sorg. All right. All right. This brings us to our final battle question this week.
Yes.
Or not final battle question. Well, it is the final battle question.
Give me a question.
Final battle story. And Atari announced today that they're bringing back androids. Or asteroids. Not androids, asteroids. I was thinking android.
Oh, man. Wow, Bobby's falling apart. He needs a pizza.
I am falling apart. They announced it, as you remember the game with the triangles and the dots. And
I have a version of it on my Pebble Watch, actually. It doesn't work very well.
Well, actually, the game is going to be way more advanced. They announced Asteroids Outpost today, calling the new take on the 35-year-old Asteroids franchise a bolder reimagining of the brand. It's a pretty accurate statement since Asteroids Outpost is not an arcade space shooter, but an open-world sandbox-style survival game. Okay, the object of the game, players will mine, build, and defend a base in Asteroids Outpost. Atari said they're going from rocks to riches. In the survival game, the game takes place on a massive asteroid where players will have to scavenge for resources and craft equipment to build a base. They also have to defend that base from other players and asteroids that are flying through the air. It's being developed by Salty Games for Windows PC, and it will come to Steam for early access very soon, Atari says. But our final battle question this week, what other classic Atari games should be brought back, and would you like to see modernized for today's games?
Chachi, if you want to go first on this one.
Chachi?
Nope.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were going to be the positive one on this one.
No, I am not okay with this at all.
Really?
There's no need to modernize Asteroids.
Asteroids, they have the franchise.
Believe it or not, there are so many current video games based on Asteroids that Asteroids needs to be left alone. Asteroids has already earned its spot in history. It's already been respected, revered, and remembered. Leave it alone. There's absolutely no reason to reimagine the already huge imaginative game that Asteroids was. As far as any other games that you may or may not want to reimagine, no. Pong was reimagined in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, on PlayStation 1, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that wasn't bad. I'll give you that.
It still looked like Pong.
Yeah, but it was still Pong. They didn't change the game. They changed the look.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as everything else, just leave it alone.
And we got one in Crossy Road with Frogger.
Right.
So.
Oh, remember when Frogger became like a platformer for a while there? That's the thing. And that's the thing. Atari, or whoever owned Atari at the time, I think it was Interplay or something, already reimagined a lot of these games. We already had a reimagining, re-release, etc. of Asteroids for the PlayStation and PC in 1998, guys.
Yeah, we've already been here.
We had like a weird
it's a different
We had an updated
That one was a
battle.
shooter, wasn't
We had an updated battle zone. We had all this other stuff. I mean, it sounds like this kind of thing. They're going to put the Asteroids name on it, but it's not going to be Asteroids. Asteroids is Asteroids. Missile Command is Missile Command. Frogger is Frogger because of the limitations. Maybe Frogger you could do something with, of course. But Battleship is Battleship. It's not a movie.
Right.
Anything above and beyond, you can't create a story as easily around like it's a dot that's shooting other dots, or whatever that case may be. Those games were great because of their limitations, and to add on to them takes away what was novel about the gameplay to begin with. I actually looking at it, I think this one makes sense.
But that's the thing. It wasn't novel then. It was huge.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, the in-depthness of this game.
Yeah.
Then was outrageous. Just because we've moved on from that and had technological advances doesn't mean that game's still not in depth. I mean, they had entire backstories for all of these games.
Green Lines are trying to...
I don't remember them, but, I mean, they had... well, let me take that back. Pong didn't have a backstory.
No.
It was two-player tennis.
And anything. What I'm saying, like there was no storytelling. There wasn't this technology. Or the dot can do this now, or it becomes something else, or it becomes pretty much just a first-person shooter, blaster, whatever it is. I think it takes I think it takes you out of the element of what that gameplay was, which was the gameplay was what it was, and good for what it was. And still holds up because of the limitations. I'm not saying it's novel. Oh, look at that, that's cute. But that's still the reason it was, because Pac-Man was a dot that was that had a mouth on it. I mean that, and it creates that extra level where you fill in the blanks. There's a little this outpost is being bombarded by asteroids, on the arcade machine that you never freaking read anyways, because you're just putting your quarters in and you're going to shoot rocks. But
I always read it.
You read it's I gotta put myself in the mood before I put that quarter in.
Yeah.
Right. Do you get into the story of the pinball machines too?
I do.
I just want to create a backstory for Pong now.
Do it.
I think I'm going to. That's my next project.
It's the battle of the battle of the paddle gods.
I would remake Shark, but I would put Left Shark in from the Super Bowl. Do you remember Shark?
No, I don't. I'm gonna look it up now.
Plus, we need a game called Shark on the market again. Shark was where the shark would go around and eat smaller fish. Or no, you were a small fish. You had to work your way up so you would be able to eat the shark. You would eat a bigger or smaller fish than you'd get bigger.
What was this on?
Didn't a smaller fish get bigger? Huh?
Didn't PopCap do a game like that called Feeding Frenzy?
Yeah, they did. But I would like a next gen.
Wait,
is
this it? Oh, I'm trying to cue it up here.
No, that's Castlevania.
No, it's the intro to Classic Games Revisited on the YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna wait for it to load. Here. It's a
shark.
Is that it?
I don't know. I have to see. That's it. That's it.
What system is it for?
The actual gameplay.
It's an Atari cartridge. It looks like in television, actually. So.
Look at that box art.
Wow, box art for Atari games. This is what I'm talking about. You had the stuff on the back, right? It. You had that crazy ass great artwork for Atari. Then you had this.
Damn, that box art was sexy.
Man, now it's I think if you didn't tell me on the box there's a shark in this game, I wouldn't even tell you that's a fish.
Yep.
Oh, there's a shark.
A shark that kind of resembled a submarine.
Yeah. Is it a shark? Is it a submarine?
Because,
I don't know.
Because of the advancement in technology, we're lazy. That's what it is. Back then, it took work to play video games.
Exactly, and the games have to add all these bells and whistles, and so you're not missing anything. So everything is spelled out for you. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Gamers nowadays are lazy. They forget the fact that in the beginning, half of the work was done by your imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Theater of the mind. It's the arcade of the mind, man.
We actually had to make backstories for Pong.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
2 siblings. meeting at the tennis court for control of their father's kingdom.
Uh,
Which one will win? Left paddle, right paddle, fight.
I think I would name the character Dash Dasherton. He's going for his He's going for the Wimbledon
Dash
championship.
Dasherton and his brother Slash.
Slasherton.
Straight Slash.
He's Swedish. All right. On that bombshell, that's going to do it for us this week. Special thanks to Mike Allen at Mike Allen PR for handling the notes and tweets all night for us. You can follow us on Twitter on at insertcointb, and you can visit us on insertcointobegin.com. There's new articles going up daily, and you can join us live each and every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on live.sorgatronmedia.com for at Sorgatron, at Chachi Says. I'm at Bobby F. J. Town. Game over. Shark, 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 shark.
Game over, yeah! This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. Do you like professional wrestling? Want your discussions no holds barred? Check out WrestlingMayhemShow.com for all the wrestling podcast flavor you can handle.